How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Say Goodnight Kevin Movie Night episode. Hey, right before I get started, I want to tell you guys about my friend David West and his film, In the Shadow of the Valley. Man, this thing is on Seed and Spark. You can go check it out. It is almost about to reach its goal. So if you want to help push it over the edge, then head over to there. The link is in the description. David West, he's a filmmaker and a supporter of the Say Goodnight Kevin YouTube channel. He's been a patron for a long time and a really nice guy. He's an independent filmmaker who makes movies on budgets way smaller than the ones I tend to review on this show, and yet makes them look amazing. If you can't pledge, then just go and do yourself a favor and follow this project as it is underway. All right, let's get into it. Yes, it's true, I'm wearing the same shirt. I don't know what to wear. I'll be honest. I'm not real good at figuring out what to wear. If you guys want to send me your shirt or something, then you can go ahead and do that at my P.O. box right out the screen right now. Seriously, I would wear any shirt because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to. I just spilt on this shirt. So if you send me a shirt, I will spill on your shirt. Oh man, let's get into the review of the movie that I'm watching today. Let's go. All right, everybody, let's just calm down for a few seconds. Jeez Louise. I've been blown away by how many times people have asked me to review this movie. I was just gonna skip it. I was like, okay, well, it looks pretty generic. You guys haven't let up. I mean, do you guys not know that the more times you tell me how great a movie is, the more I'm gonna judge the heck out of it? There's a direct correlation there. Probably not a good stance to take as a reviewer, but that's what I do, all right? It's how my mind works. So the other day, my good friend Tracy was finally probably the last straw whenever it came to the camel and the back in which the camel was breaking. She insisted on me checking this movie out. She even did her own review of it over on her YouTube channel, Candid Christianity, which is linked below if you want to check that out, in the description or probably up here somewhere if I remember to put it up there. And then she told me that if I would please just review the movie, she would send me the Blu-ray, and I said, well, fine, send me that Blu-ray, and that's what I have right here, The Resurrection of Gavin Stone. She also told me that the director had commented on her review. I appreciate your review, and you do a great job on your channel. So how do we get Say Goodnight Kevin to review Gavin and The Chosen as well? Hold on, wait a minute. Dallas Jenkins? As in Jerry Jenkins? Co-author of Left Behind? Okay. Sorry about the things I said about your dad's movies. I'm gonna go ahead and review the movie. That's a lot of pressure. Now, other people out there, you might be saying, Kevin, does that mean that you are just gonna go be real nice because there's a high likelihood that the director might watch this? A director that probably spent 2 or more years of his life pouring himself into this movie? No, I refuse. With every fiber of my being, I'm going to be honest about this. And that kind of comes with the territory, you know? You put yourself out there, you make a movie, you're setting yourself up for some jerk on the internet to come along and and be mean to it. I do genuinely want this movie to be good. I want it to be as good as everybody says it's going to be. I guess I'm delaying a little bit. Let's just get right into it. Grab your Gavin Stones and let's jump right into The Resurrection of Gavin Stone. The movie. Wonder Woman? Oh, okay. WWE Studios? That's weird. I didn't know this movie had anything to do with wrestling, but I guess we'll see. Look, I love Andrew Kramer as much as the next guy, but come on. I mean, I at least try to put my own personal flair whenever I do his tutorials. All right, so the movie kicks off with this news story about Gavin Stone.
Child star Gavin Stone. 20 years ago, Stone shot to small screen stardom as Cliffy in the smash sitcom Family Life and had seemingly every kid in America saying, "Don't look at me!"
Come on, I've already seen this storyline in Dickie Roberts and BoJack Horseman, and I think The Mighty Wind.
Hey, what happened?
So, it turns out our main character, Gavin Stone, is in jail or something because he used to be a child star and he never learned to be responsible or a Christian. Gavin is essentially a Baldwin brother. Not Alec, but the ones that are always in Christian movies. And he's sentenced to community service.
Community service?
At a community church.
Church?
Fitting.
Don't screw this up. How could I? I'll fit right in.
And thus kicks off our fish out of water, Mighty Ducks type storyline. All right, so let me guess. He reluctantly helps out the church with their crappy play and makes it even better. And then his lawyer or his manager or somebody calls and says, hey, I got your sentence shortened, all right? Got the role of a lifetime. But during that gig, he realizes that he actually fell in love with the church during the course of the movie. You know what? He's willing to give up his career and go back and be with them. And there might be like a little lie in there somewhere that he tells. The church feels betrayed and then he has to go and apologize. Maybe, just maybe, there might even be a spunky love interest. I know that there's no way for me to prove that I wrote that before I watched this movie, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. I wrote that before I knew anything about the movie. I could be wrong. Let's jump into it and see if this movie takes an unexpected turn. So his awful sentence makes him super sad. Oh, middle America, disgusting. So he goes to his dad's house because apparently his sentence means he has to go across the country? I don't know that this is how it works, but I could be totally wrong. I'm sure that the people making this movie know better than I do, but is that how it works? So he goes to his dad's house, and his dad is the janitor from Scrubs, or the dad in the middle. You decide. Either way, they have a history together that is not so good.
What'd you do this time?
Long story.
Clearly, the dad and the son haven't seen eye to eye in a long time. And clearly, they've only contracted this actor for one day.
I need a place to stay.
How long you gonna be around?
200 hours.
The dad isn't really crucial to the plot, so we'll just check back in with him later. It's Gavin's first day at church, and you think they were having a potluck because first thing he has to do is eat some humble pie.
You're Gavin Stone.
All right. Well, you're a fan, right?
Of what?
How'd you know my name?
It was printed at the top of your rap sheet.
Bum bum ba-dum.
I really wasn't a part
Yeah, they told me the story. You're not the best decision maker, but you're no criminal.
They literally told me every single minute detail about you except that you're a famous Hollywood actor, so yeah.
We don't need to share with anybody why you're here. It's a big church. You'll fly under the radar. Everybody will treat you great.
Okay, got it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll fly right under the radar with that shirt.
We really do believe in second chances here.
We've watched the VeggieTales movie a million times.
200 hours means 200 hours. Got it?
And no more purple shirts. Cue the pezzicatos. Oh, whimsical. So Gavin starts acting like a dork as he cleans the ladies' bathroom, just as our female star enters the room.
What are you doing?
No. Sorry, I'm not.
Do I know you from somewhere?
You recognize me?
He then falls flat on his face as he tries to flirt with her.
Maybe over coffee or...
What a jerk.
I got a ton of work to do, and I've known you for 30 seconds, so...
But that's when he discovers there is going to be a church play.
These movie scenes?
No, it is our annual stage production.
That's totally my thing.
What did I tell you, everyone?
Okay, next up is Charles.
Then the movie becomes Sing.
Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees!
Biggie Power! Yo, Humpty, you're really funny looking. Come, my lady, come, my lady.
Oh my gosh, look at her butt.
My name is Charlotte Elizabeth Stewart.
You get it. You've seen this before. All these people try out, and none of them are any good. Until Gavin comes along.
You think I could spend a few of my hours working on this?
We ask that all cast members be believing Christians.
I am one.
And there's the lie. Great. I knew it was coming. I mean, it's fitting because Christians are always so eager for someone famous to affirm their Christianity.
Really?
You didn't know that?
Didn't someone do a sketch about this one time?
We're joined today by Super Famous Person. Super Famous Person, tell us about your new film.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you.
It's Christian! Did you see that Super Famous Person mention God in her latest interview? Oh my gosh, that's amazing! Thank you, Super Famous Person! Thank you for having the courage! Everyone is so excited, yay! But then, so Super Famous Person, do you believe that there's a God?
Of course I do. I believe that God is in everything. He's in the ocean, he's in the air. Have you seen Pocahontas? I believe in Pocahontas' God.
And suddenly the people who were Super Famous Person's biggest supporters just 24 hours ago completely changed their tune. Pocahontas God? Who does she think she is? Why do actors feel like we care about their opinions? Just shut up and act.
Really classic. So the pastor agrees to let him try out for the play, but in order to do so, he has to give his Christian testimony.
No, I don't mean the kind you do in court.
Yeah.
And I think that the movie handles this pretty well. They basically do what that sketch that I just played does. They show how Christians are just so eager and excited to believe that this super famous person is on their team, even though it's obvious that he's just making it up as he goes.
What you probably didn't know is that I'm a Christian. Now, it wasn't until a few years ago when I hit rock bottom. I just felt something missing. Guess you could call it a God-shaped hole.
So far, it's the funniest part of the movie. And you know, that's saying something, because it's an inspirational comedy. So he wins much of the congregation over by spitting all this Christianese, and they're eating it up.
Let Jesus take the wheel. Let go and let God.
This is pretty good. I've said quite a bit before that this is something that personally frustrates me about Christianity, especially since I am one. But fortunately, strong girl character isn't buying it.
What are you doing here in Masonville?
I had a bit of a rough patch recently, and ultimately had no choice but to come home to my father.
Well, I won't play you too much of that, because if you do want to see the movie, the scene is done really well. It really makes me believe that the people who made this movie, at least the people involved in the scene, must think very similar to the way I think, which I like when people think like me. Let's see if the rest of the movie is just as great. As you would expect, he blows them away with his awesome acting abilities, and so they make him Jesus. But when they start to practice, well, things don't seem to go as smoothly as you would expect. Great.
Oh, ye of little faith. I'm gonna say you. Oh, you of little faith. Where is your courage? I think that line should be even bigger.
That is actually the exact opposite of what Jesus was about.
Really? I mean, why not?
In short, humility.
This guy kind of reminds me of Mac from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. In fact, this whole movie kind of reminds me of like a really super duper tame version of Always Sunny.
This is ridiculous. What are we doing here?
We're turning to the big man upstairs. He's gonna make this right.
I can't believe you think this is a real solution to our problem. Dennis, what do you think of all this?
Amen.
Then after rehearsal, Gavin strikes out once again.
How about tomorrow? Lunch? Coffee, maybe?
No thanks.
But that's okay, because these weird guys invite him to go hang out. They understand because they've been turned down by her before too.
I've been trying to court her since the late 90s.
Ugh.
Court her? What, are you a Quaker or something?
I was, yes.
Oh.
So he goes and hangs out with the guys.
Gavin, you want to pray it up?
Yeah. Dear God.
Then he quotes Braveheart.
But even though our enemies may try to take away our lives, they will never take away our freedom.
Then we find out that the girl is actually the pastor's daughter.
She's Alan's daughter?
Yeah.
Then things get real weird real quick.
First time I asked her out about 10 years ago, she told me there was only room in her life for one man, and that man was Jesus Christ. I dressed up like Jesus at a church events. Totally had the opposite effect.
Well, this doesn't dissuade Gavin, as he really wants to get with this pastor's daughter. So he Googles how to be a Christian, and let's just say things get real crazy.
I be on that, never gotta think about the on-ramp.
And no, I didn't add this music. The movie's actually funny enough to add it themselves. I mean, just look at how Gavin can't figure out how clapping and singing works. The words are on the screen. I thought this guy was an actor and he was some great memorizer.
Oh.
I guess that memorization doesn't work real well when he has to sing it with Tyler Oakley leading worship. But fortunately, his lack of knowing how to church correctly is super endearing for the pastor's daughter. Then they get back to rehearsal.
How can we improve?
But at this point, his heart starts to soften, and he agrees to help this guy purely out of wanting to help him and not out of selfishness. So that's really nice of him.
Christians talk so weird all the time, don't they? We, don't we? Acting is listening.
That is literally one of the greatest things I've ever heard.
But then, as he's trying to really make the show awesome, which is something this church probably needs.
What is going on?
Hey.
Well, the girl she's had enough, because he's not getting it.
We are not doing this, Gavin. Get this rig out of here. You're making this impossible. And what you still don't get is this is entirely opposite of who Jesus was. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's when he realizes he isn't watching the clock, waiting for this time to be over. Instead, he's counting down the minutes he has left to spend with his new friends. Back home with his dad, he starts to realize things are changing inside. And maybe he isn't the selfish actor he used to be.
Actually, not that bad. Yeah, not bad.
And she has a heart-to-heart with her father, too.
Everything's bigger, actually. Bigger sets, bigger problems.
Bigger egos?
You know, for being so smart, he really is a whack job.
Who said he was smart? Hey. But then, the next day, Gavin really hits a home run when it comes to winning over the heart of the pastor's daughter. Check this out.
Hi, Rachel. You gonna have fun out there?
She's hearing impaired.
Hi, I'm Gavin. Are you going to
He knows sign language. That is so sweet. Well, him being good with kids and knowing sign languages, just the thing to start turning her cold heart.
Yeah, I learned it for a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
But since she does want to give Gavin a chance, she gives him this ultimatum.
If you work really hard on getting us caught up, I will be more open to your input.
Okay.
Good.
His transformation is almost there. All he needs to push him over the edge is, you guessed it, a montage. So now he's all softened up and the girl lets her hair down, both inside and out. Ooh, what? She lets down her heart hair.
So let's celebrate. Grab some deep dish.
So she agrees to the date. They go on this date where they first open up about their previous relationships.
At the end of the night, he introduced me to his parents, where his mom pulled me aside and said, and I quote, "God told me you're gonna be my daughter-in-law someday." Oh. First date.
Well, I hope she isn't opening up her heart hair for a heart haircut. Hope she's not gonna get her heart broken is what I'm saying. Especially since we find out she's been hurt before, and that's why she acts the way she does. She was once engaged, and it all fell apart. So out of sadness, she starts to pour herself into her work, which is at the church. And then the rest of the date is just them analyzing their own personalities, AKA reading their character descriptions.
I'm a petulant narcissist with intimacy issues stemming from a robbed childhood where my every whim was met with instant gratification.
Living in a fishbowl like this. Pastor's daughter. Everybody's watching, waiting for me to make a mistake.
They each tell a joke.
Guy walks into a doctor's office. He says, "Doc, you've got to help me. I've got this horrible Twitter addiction." Doctor says, "Sorry, not following you."
How do you make a tissue dance? Put a little boogie in it.
All the while, the music track for Sonny and Cher's I Got You Babe plays in the background, I think. So Gavin really starts diving into this whole thing. He's diving in, he's going deep, he's in over his head, he wants to be lost in the rush, caught in the flow, in over his head, he wants to go. So he ends up on the poster for the play. Perhaps it started out as a lie, but now, maybe, just maybe, his belief becomes real. He goes onto the local radio station to promote the play, and look, it's Tori Martin. And this whole scene is slam-packed with super obscure references. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to name them all, but I'll go ahead and try.
This is The Morning Sun with Wayne McCusker.
Okay, Wayne McCusker? I don't know who Wayne is, but McCusker is obviously a reference to Paul McCusker, a writer for Adventures in Odyssey, which Tori Martin also is. This whole sign for the radio station, we have AM 316, obviously a reference to John 3:16, and then of course, The Way. I'm guessing that this is a parody of Nashville, because here we've got Way FM and we've got The Fish. I'm laughing.
So hey, we have a special guest with us this morning, former child star Gavin Stone. Hey Gavin, or should I call you Cliffy?
No, Gavin's fine.
So Cliffy, let's talk.
Aren't we all...
I'd love to hear about your heart transformation.
And just as you thought Gavin was not going to be able to answer this question, well, he gives the most Christian answer of all.
I'd love to tell you all about it, but this production isn't about Gavin Stone. I've gotten so lost in this character that they just see him.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. All right, well, let's get back to rehearsals.
What is he writing? It doesn't say in the script.
Because it's not in the Bible.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Go and sin no more. Why does he even defend her? Does he know her?
The whole thing just kind of feels like it was made up by a scribe and wasn't in the original text of the Bible. That's just how it's feeling to me. I don't know. There we go. There's a little something for all my actually subscribers to comment about in the comments below. You know, we've really seen Gavin change over the course of this film, and just in time, he is actually now done with his community service.
You're a free man.
What?
And after rehearsal, you'll be done. I gotta tell you, Gavin, you have really livened this place up. You've been a great addition to our church, and you've made my daughter's life a little easier, too.
They're really falling for each other. I hope this doesn't mean something's gonna go wrong. But then, the moment we all knew was coming, his guy calls and lets him know, that's right, about the big part.
Long story short, I scrapped a character in my show, And I rewrote one just for you.
What?
We shoot as soon as you hit the set tomorrow.
Oh, no.
This is not gonna happen twice, all right?
I'll see you in LA tomorrow.
Wow, this is just like that time we overheard Coach Bombay say that the kids didn't deserve to live.
They don't even deserve to live.
Charlotte just called me. She said she overheard you on the phone with some LA guy.
Look, I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
Then he opens up and tells her the truth.
I'm not a Christian. I didn't think it would go this far. I don't even know how it happened.
And then the old, I guess I'm everything that you ever thought I was moment.
Yes, Dad, I am bailing. I'm a screw-up. Go ahead.
And then he runs away. And then we get the sad reflection time.
Hey, let's crank one of these out, guys. Let's go.
Now we're on set, and he realizes that even though he told the girl, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my old life. I'm as bad as you always thought I was. It turns out maybe he doesn't fit in his old life. He's a man stuck between two worlds. He's Ghost from the movie Ghost.
And I don't belong here.
You walk off this set, you won't have one friend left in this business.
I never did, Mike.
All right, you know what happens next. He goes back to the church. He eats some more humble pie.
I was wrong. I am sorry.
And then he gets in costume and plays the heck out of Jesus.
Where are your accusers?
And in that moment, it is said that Gavin Stone's stone heart grew 3 sizes that day, and he finally realized the correct way to play the character of Jesus. Gavin realized the best way to say his lines on stage is to whisper them.
Does even one remain to condemn you?
He must have watched The Shack and was like, that's it! That's all I'm gonna do in my movie.
Neither do I. What? Go and sin no more.
Hey, it's supposed to be a stage play, not a movie. Hey.
Whoa.
Father!
And just as every Christian hopes whenever a famous person says really Christian lines in a Christian movie, this guy, he really means it. Gavin really means it.
Commit. Spirit.
It's Christian!
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they live happily ever after. Oh, but not before we end off with a pitch from the director about his upcoming project.
Come on. There are so many good stories in the Bible.
We could do a whole series of Bible stories on VidAngel. So there you have it, everybody. The Resurrection of Gavin Stone. I watched the movie just like you guys always wanted. So the moment that we have all been waiting for. What did I think? You know, it's kind of hard because this movie, the way that the cover is, it's kind of like not another teen movie. The good girl, the pastor, the ex-con, the skeptic.
The popular jock, the token black guy, the cruelest girl in school.
I don't necessarily recommend that movie. I'm just saying that Not Another Teen Movie is a parody of like She's All That, those types of movies, where this plays itself off like it's a genuine, real movie, especially since the guy becomes a Christian at the end. I do like the message. Like, even if I weren't a Christian, it's a fairly self-aware movie that recognizes, yeah, there's some weird things about Christianity. And it realizes that, you know, this guy, he's a selfish person and he has a character arc. Even if you don't buy into the Christianity thing, which I do, which is fine, you don't have to. We've discussed this before. You can appreciate this demonstration of somebody learning to be an honorable person, a man of his word, somebody who does what he says he's going to do and grows up. Needless to say, this is probably the most predictable and cliche movie that I've seen in a long time, which is probably why I bring up Not Another Teen Movie, because that is supposed to be making fun of all of the archetypes that exist in those types of teen movies. I think there's a fine line between being a parody of something and then actually just being that thing. And while the branding seems to think that this is a parody of Christian chick flick love story / romantic comedy, it almost seems like that's kind of an excuse they're using in order to just make a really cliche, archetype-filled rip-off film. I mean, this is essentially the same as Christian Mingle, all the way down to having some semi-famous TV dad. Even for a Christian movie, this is an old hat by now. Like, I've seen this with the movie Believe Me, Shooting the Prodigal, Christian Mingle, even Blue Like Jazz was kind of this storyline. I will say that this is probably better than a lot of those, like in terms of the jokes and the acting. So as a Christian and someone who grew up in the church and someone who spends a lot of time writing jokes about Christianity, I chuckled a good bit. Part of me is like, wow, this is clearly made by somebody who gets my sense of humor. I bet you I would have a ton of fun talking to the people who made this movie. The grace aspect of Christianity, making jokes about our faith culture is funny. Human behavior is funny. I guess this movie is pretty harmless. I think that its heart is in the right place, but the story, it's the same exact thing that I've seen so many times. I know I started out saying a lie, but then I fell in love with all of you, especially that one hot girl, and now I don't fit in my old life. I just want to fit in here, and I'm sorry that I let everybody down. I hope you could learn to trust me, and I've become a better person. Basically, you could probably just go watch the end of my Christian Mingle review, and the criticism I had for that film would be the same as I have for this movie. If you're looking for something to just watch, you know, maybe something to watch as a date, I guess, rent it somewhere, or ask Tracy to send you the Blu-ray because she loves promoting this movie. Go watch her review of it, get her side of it, because she definitely loves the movie a little more than I do, but I don't hate it. It's just, that's all I gotta say about it. Talk to you guys later. Good night. Guys, I have so much fun making the show, but I couldn't do it without the awesome people who pledged to my Patreon. Some of those people include the Low Res Cinema YouTube channel, the Defenders of Liberty podcast, the Barely Protestant podcast. All that content is linked below. Jacob and Emily Rugrock, Andrea and Phil Lawson, and Amanda Stewart. Plus the other people on the screen. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. If you want to support the Patreon, head over to patreon.com/saygoodnightkev. That's all I've got to say for today. I'll see you guys soon. Good night.
How do you make a tissue dance? Put a little boogie in it.